He threw a birthday party for his wife that cost $2 million. The Roman-themed bash had models dressed as gladiators. An ice sculpture of Michelangelo's David urinated Stolichnaya vodka into a crystal bowl. The bill went to the shareholders, every single cent of it. And nobody, not one auditor, not one board member, asked a single question. At least not until it was far too late. This is the story of Dennis Kozlowski. And this is how he burned down a $36 billion company from the inside out. Kozlowski grew up in Newark, New Jersey. Working class, scrappy. The kind of kid who wore the same pair of shoes for 2 years and never complained about it. He earned an accounting degree from Seton Hall in 1968 and spent the next 2 decades clawing his way up through the corporate world the hard way. By 1992, he landed at the top of Tyco International, a sprawling industrial conglomerate that made everything from fire suppression systems to medical devices. Nobody had heard of him. That was about to change. Under Kozlowski, Tyco grew aggressively. He acquired over 200 companies in a decade. Revenue exploded from $3 billion to $36 billion. Wall Street called him the next Jack Welch. Business magazines ran his face on their covers. The board handed him more and more authority, more and more trust. He had earned it, they said. He deserved it. He did. For a while. The turn did not happen in a single moment. It never does. It crept in slowly, the way rot moves through a floorboard, invisible until the weight of it all comes crashing through. By the late 1990s, Kozlowski had developed a taste for things his salary could not sustain. Not even a salary of $170 million over 5 years. He wanted more, and he had found a way to take it. Along with CFO Mark Swartz and General Counsel Mark Belnick, he had quietly engineered a system inside Tyco called the Key Employee Loan Program. On the surface, it was a legitimate benefit, low-interest loans to executives for things like relocation costs. Underneath, it was a personal ATM. Kozlowski borrowed hundreds of millions of dollars from Tyco. Then he arranged for the loans to be forgiven without board approval. He did not steal quietly. He stole with paperwork, with policy language, with the comfortable armor of corporate bureaucracy. By 2001, internal documents show the scheme had ballooned beyond control. Kozlowski alone had taken $242 million in unauthorized loan forgiveness. He used $30 million to purchase fine art, a Renoir, a Monet, pieces that hung in his Fifth Avenue apartment, while being billed to a Tyco subsidiary in New Hampshire as a business expense. He purchased 5 homes across the country, including a $16.8 million apartment on Fifth Avenue and a $7 million oceanfront estate in Nantucket. He bought a $6,000 shower curtain, a fact that would later become the symbol of everything wrong with him. The shower curtain was not the crime. It was the tell. Investors had no idea. Tyco's filings looked clean. Its acquisitions kept coming. Kozlowski remained the face of disciplined, relentless American capitalism. It ended, as these things always do, with a small thing. Not a whistleblower, not a forensic audit. In May 2002, Manhattan District Attorney Robert Morgenthau's office was investigating Kozlowski for something almost trivial: sales tax evasion. He had been shipping empty crates to a Tyco office in New Hampshire to avoid paying $1 million in New York sales tax on artwork purchases. A $1 million lie. That was the thread they pulled. What unraveled was catastrophic. SEC investigators joined the inquiry. Tyco's own board, panicked, exposed, commissioned an internal investigation led by attorney David Boies. What Boies' team found over the following months ran to thousands of pages. Kozlowski and Swartz had taken $400 million combined through fraudulent loans, unauthorized bonuses, and outright theft of corporate funds. The the Tyco stock price collapsed. From a high of $63 in January 2001, it fell to $8.50 by July 2002, wiping out $92 billion in market value. Pension funds, retail investors, teachers, retirees, all of them holding paper that had turned to ash. On June 3, 2002, Dennis Kozlowski resigned as CEO. The indictment came weeks later. He was arrested on June 4, 2002, on the corner of Park Avenue, photographed without a tie for the first time in his professional life. He was charged with grand larceny, falsifying business records, and conspiracy. The first trial ended in a mistrial in April 2004 after a juror received a threatening letter and made an unauthorized hand gesture to the defense table, events so bizarre they generated their own headlines. The second trial began in January 2005. On June 17, 2005, the jury found Dennis Kozlowski guilty on 22 counts. Mark Swartz was convicted alongside him. Kozlowski, wearing a charcoal grey suit that looked one size too large, was sentenced to 8.33 to 25 years in New York State Prison. He surrendered his appeal in 2007. He served his time at Mid-State Correctional Facility in Marcy, New York, a facility that smelled, by all accounts, like industrial cleaner and cafeteria food, a long way from Nantucket. He was released on parole in January 2014 after serving just under 9 years. Mark Swartz received the same sentence. Mark Belnick, the general counsel, was acquitted, a verdict that surprised many who had followed the case closely. Tyco itself survived. It was restructured, broken into 3 separate companies, and slowly rebuilt its reputation under new leadership. The shareholders never recovered their full losses. The $92 billion in market value that evaporated in 2002 did not come back. The art went to auction. The apartments were sold. The party photographs, gladiators, vodka ice sculptures, $2 million billed to people who would never see a cent of it, became case study material in every business school that teaches ethics. There is a detail that stays with you after you study this case long enough. At the height of his power, Dennis Kozlowski told a reporter that he wanted to be remembered as one of the great business leaders of his generation. Not for the money, for the legacy. Somewhere in Marcy, New York, in a prison cell that smelled like institutional soap, he had a long time to think about what he had actually built. The answer was not a legacy. It was a hole, $400 million wide, filled with other people's futures, and at the bottom of it, a $6,000 shower curtain that no one was ever supposed to find.